Hey, what's up? What's up? Joe in Vegas back with another review. I would say of all the comments and emails and requests that I get to go check out a show and do a review, I don't think there's anything that's been more requested than this show. I finally got around tonight to seeing Lady Gaga's jazz and piano show, residency, whatever you want to call it, here at Park MGM. She has an ongoing residency here at Park MGM, and she flip flops between having her own regular show and this piano and jazz show. I've seen not her residency show, but I've seen her a few times in actual arenas before she started her residency. And I saw her years and years ago, and I remember being so impressed with her. I remember getting dragged there by a bunch of friends that were visiting. I wasn't thrilled about going. I didn't care for her music. I knew it was big, and she blew me away. I remember just thinking how talented she was, outside of the dancing and the costumes and all that shit you expect. So I remember when she just sat down at a piano and just sang, you were just like, whoa, this girl is talented. I remember watching her documentary shortly after that on Netflix, and I remember thinking, wow, this woman is so fucking talented. And then tonight sent it to another stratosphere for me. This show was really good. So I didn't know what to expect. I thought she just took all her big hits and made them like jazzy. I didn't understand really what this jazz and piano thing was. That's what I always assumed. I'm like, who's going to pay money to see Gaga sing old jazz songs? So I got to the seat and I looked up the set list for the first time, and that's pretty much what it was. She throws her big ones in there, and I'll get to it. But it's pretty much Lady Gaga singing these standards, these classic jazz standards that you know every single one. Even if you don't know the name of the song, you know these songs. These songs are classics. And I saw very, very quickly, it's like when you hit a certain point in your life and a certain amount of success, you could start doing whatever the fuck you want. This is her. This is what she wants. She not only is out there having fun, and she said it a couple times. This is the music she's been listening to since she was a kid. I know she did all this stuff with Tony Bennett, and there's stuff out there that she's done with jazz and so on. But I didn't realize how much she loves this. You could see it in her face. This show, she was having so much fun. The looks she got down, the sound she got down, the vibe, the dancing. She had a huge band on stage, at least 30 people in that orchestra. It was a full orchestra. It was great. So let me go through the set list a little bit, and you'll see what I mean. Starts with Orange Colored Sky, Nat King Cole song. Then Luck Be a Lady, Frank Lozier song. Call Me Irresponsible, Jackie Gleason. The Best Is Yet to Come, Frank Sinatra. Stepping Out with My Baby, Irving Berlin. Okay, then she goes to Poker Face. So the way it worked was there was a grand piano in the corner, and when it came down to her song, she would kind of run across the stage and sit down. And for Poker Face specifically, she did a jazzy version of Poker Face, which I thought I was going to be. It was great. Dude, she has such a good voice. She just, what's the word? She embraced this culture, this throwback. There were a couple of words I kept thinking the whole night. She was elegant. She was classy. She was vintage. She was authentic. She really did it because she believed. It wasn't an act. It's almost like that's the vibe I got almost tonight, that the other Gaga is an act. The pop star Gaga is an act. This felt like true. It was glamorous. It was elegant. There was these little movies when she did her little wardrobe changes. There were probably 3 or 4 movies. She was paying respect. She was tipping her hat to the old Rat Pack, to the old Vegas, to the way Vegas used to be, where these guys would jump out on stage and help each other out. There was no competition. There was no guys or girls trying to beat each other out on the Billboard list or who's got more views or clicks. They were like a group. They were all supportive of each other. When Sinatra was done singing, he'd run over to the Sands and go see Dean Martin sing or Sammy Davis Jr. And she embraced all of that tonight and wanted to bring that back, that classiness to an old school Vegas show, and she fucking nailed it. She nailed it. So anyway, let me keep going. It don't mean a thing if you ain't got that swing. I can't give you anything but love, baby. That's a Jimmy McHugh cover. Do I Love You by Cole Porter, and then she did a couple of her songs. She went to the piano again and did Born This Way. Stupid Love started at the piano and then got more energetic with the whole band came into it. So she really separated her stuff. And now I know why it's called jazz and piano. The jazz part is for the old-timey jazz standards, but the piano part is for her stuff. That's her, I don't want to say showing off. It's not showing off, but that's her shining bright on a piano, where I think it's where she is her most talented. The place is silent. She's her on a piano, and her voice is perfection. And her songs are great. And these pop songs like Born This Way, when she slows them down and sings them as ballads, they work, I think, better, personally. Anyway, she did Stupid Love. She did Sway by Dean Martin. I love that song. She did Rags to Riches, which is her friend. She talked about Tony for a little bit, who died, maybe 6 months ago, maybe a year ago. Great song. That was like, she talked about her Italian roots and then went into that mobster, it just, from Goodfellas, that song just became tied to mobsters. Then she did a couple of her own, Americano, which was really good. Paparazzi, which was good on the piano. I'm going to screw up the name of this song, La Vie en Rose, Edith Piaf cover. That is one of those French songs that you fucking know. Trust me. I was looking at the set list. I'm like, what is this song? You know it. The second she starts singing it, you know it. I don't know where it's from. I'm sure it's from 1,000 movies and 1,000 things, but you just know it. What a Difference a Day Makes. And then I think this was the best of the whole night. She went back to the piano and did Bad Romance, and it was slow down, beautiful, heartbreaking. You could hear a pin drop. It was awesome. She did Fly Me to the Moon. In the middle of Fly Me to the Moon, I've never seen any artist do this, and I've gone to 1,000 shows. She put the microphone down in the middle, like she did the first chorus, she did the first verse, the chorus, and then she put the microphone down on the piano top and sang for probably a minute or two to the crowd with all the strength in her voice and no microphone. And you can hear, again, I keep thinking, God, what can this woman not do? She acts, she sings, there's no bullshit filters, background tracks, any of that shit. I just kept thinking the whole time, two things. She is so talented and she is fucking classy and elegant. All those words I mentioned before, every song, every time she came out with a new costume and a new angle and a new dance, I just kept thinking that. Bad Romance was great. Fly Me to the Moon was great. And then she closed out with Theme from New York, New York. Starts spreading the news. And closed out the show with that to tons of confetti. It was an old school Vegas show like they used to have, with a little bit of a modern twist because it is Lady Gaga. But she paid homage. That's the word I've been looking for. She paid homage to that Rat Pack, the Vegas era, those jazz standards, Tony Bennett, Dean Martin, all those guys. This was her celebration of them. This is stuff you can tell that she grew up on. You can tell she loves to sing it. You can tell she loves to sing it for people. And she is doing everything in her power. And she has the power. And she has the success that she can do it to keep this stuff alive and make it incredibly entertaining. And it was. Usually jazz stuff to me is a little boring. Wasn't boring at all. Not for 1 minute. It was an excellent show. I'm surprised it took me this long. Highly recommend it. Scale of 1 to 10. I am going to give it a 9.75. Tickets, I didn't mention that. So they're expensive. The good seats go for about $365 plus fees. You're looking over $400. Last night, I got lucky. I just jumped on StubHub and I found 2 tickets. They were $220 a piece. Section 303 on the aisle, row F. I got lucky. I would check StubHub. Keep checking StubHub. Tickets, if you can get them, because a lot of these shows are sold out. But you're going to find some deals on StubHub and TickPick and some of these other sites. Great show. I'm shocked it took me this long. I would highly recommend anybody go see it. I appreciate you listening. Leave some comments if you've seen it, if you're planning on seeing it. And, of course, help me build this channel. If you enjoyed hearing this, subscribe. Leave some comments. I always try to read all the comments. I try to respond to them all, even the ones that beat me up. But there's nothing to beat me up on this review. I think that's the third time I've seen Gaga, and each time I'm pretty fucking impressed. I mean, it's hard to believe that that's the woman who like showed up at the MTV Awards covered in meat. That was all like what I saw tonight was a classy, elegant superstar, talented superstar. And I hope she sticks with this. I can see this show with her can be in Vegas forever, and it'll sell out forever. And I would go see it many times over. Thanks for listening. I appreciate it. Subscribe, and I will see you at the next show. Take care.